I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. This is another review. This is a paid request from Frame by Frame. For those who want to send in any requests for any type of videos, reviews, re-reviews, topics, reactions, news, lists, something about movies, games, just whatever type of video, you just send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. And I'm saying all that also to lolly dad my way and to talk about this movie because I wasn't even a fan of the first film. So if you like the first film, you're going to watch this movie anyway. But I would even say the first film was better than this because of a number of reasons. Number one, it did not need to be 2.5 hours long. Not every superhero movie needs to be 2.5 hours long. Comic book movie, we don't always need to be 2.5 fucking hours long, and there's no reason why this is 2.5 hours long. Just so many times within the middle of the film, it's just wandering around looking for a point, because this film is fucking boring. That's one of the biggest crimes of the film. It's fucking boring. It is incredibly boring, and sometimes I'm like, is this movie fucking going anywhere? Is this movie going anywhere? It's going off a fucking cliff. That's where it's going. I wish something would happen. You don't get a lot of wonder in this Wonder Woman movie. Before I go on, the plot of the film, after this opening sequence showing a flashback when she was a kid, it's now the 80s. Only this is the type of, it's a parody 80s. Because you know how Back to the Future Part 2, when they went to the future, is a very parody version of the future? That's what this 80s felt like. It didn't feel like the 80s. It felt like a parody version of the 80s. Joker did a better job showing its old timeline than this. This is literally, I'm waiting for someone to go, with the zapper gun, that's a baby's toy. Baby's toy. But that's the future, Back to the Future. But that's what it seemed like. A parody of the 80s. Where you have like these little girls and everyone wearing the over-the-top 80s outfit. And they're stealing big-ass sunglasses. And there's, when you see Wonder Woman doing her thing, it's like a little montage that seems as if this is the type of stuff that people would make fun of in Superman 3. And I would rather watch Superman 3 because I like Christopher Reeve, I like Richard Pryor, and I buy more into fighting a giant supercomputer as a fun time than this plot dealing with Pedro, the guy from Mandalorian. He was also in the Kingsman sequel, who I thought, oh, that's like Burt Reynolds. Being a guy who gets the stone and it deals with wishes. So he pretty much becomes the fucking Wishmaster. Going to Wishing Well. The Wishing Well. It did not need to be 2.5 hours long. It did not need to be so fucking boring. And that's the worst part of this movie, is fucking boring. I had 2 birthdays by the time this was over. I had 5 conniption fits by the time this was over. I had 6 shits by the time this was over. And those are more exciting than this. Gal Gadot, she did not impress me. I don't understand the appeal of her. No, she's not as bad as, say, Megan Fox, but to me, that's not saying much. Gal Gadot, get the fuck out of my face. Gal Gadonk. I never got the appeal of Gal Gadot. I'm sorry. Especially, spoiler, because this is a spoiler review, starting now. Spoilers. When the end, mid-credits, Linda Carter makes an appearance. The original Wonder Woman. As his other character. And that one cameo, she showed more personality and more charm than the entire Gal Gadot performance with her blank face. Just... I always remember the first film when she would say lines like, "We got to do our duty." There's no lines I could think of in this movie that was like that. The first film, I would say, is better than this, because at least the first film felt like it was reaching some point. It was some kind of course going. Here, when it got to the middle of the film, it just felt like we're just sitting still. Where's this movie going? Lollygagging the fuck around so it could be 2.5 hours. And it was boring. If you're looking for an action film, you're going to be disappointed. Even with the slow-mo action that I got tired of in the first movie, that was still better than this. Your action, you get, a flashback when she was a kid, doing these games, this test with other people. The beginning, after that, the montage where we're in the parody 80s, the Back to the Future Part 2, future 80s. Remember that? Remember that shop Marty McFly went to in Back to the Future Part 2 that was the 80s thing? And, give me a Pepsi, give me how that was like a parody of the 80s? That's this 80s. That shop in Back to the Future 2. And like Joker did a better job showing that older timeline than this. And let me start from the beginning. When she's a kid, playing this fucking game where you go diving and you're riding and she's a kid. Well, at one point, she's getting too cocky. She falls off a horse. You have to race down to here. She sees a shortcut. So she slides down. She misses like one target you're supposed to put an arrow through, but she slides down. And she gets to the finish line. But because of that, she loses. But apparently that's fucking cheating. You took the short path. That's cheating. The truth is the right thing. I'm like, that's not fucking cheating. That's adapting to a situation. If you're in a fucking battle and you see another way to... It's like Captain Kirk. I don't believe in the no-win scenario. Yeah, you go adapt. To me, that's adaptation, not cheating. I'm like, that's a stupid fucking message. And it tries to put that message to the very end of the film. But even the beginning of the film, I'm annoyed. I'm like, she didn't fucking cheat. Literally, she looks, there's a fucking path, a shortcut. She took it. Like, you want to do something to get your advantage during a battle, a fight, whatever. It's not even fucking cheating. You're adapting to a situation. You're using your brain and knowing your environment. But no, apparently that's cheating and she was wrong, blah, blah, blah. So then we can get to the 80s. Sure, one of the only reasons this came to play because Thor Ragnarok was a hit. And the beginning portion is very comedic. It's not like that later on, but in the very beginning it's these guys wearing fucking outfits, ascots, whatever the hell, driving their red car. Hey, dude. As Wonder Woman kicks a car out of the way because it's going to run over this girl. these little girls, stealing these big sunglasses. This guy has this bride by a fucking bridge. He's an idiot. She falls and Wonder Woman saves her. This is kind of the shit that you would see at the beginning of Superman 3, and people talk shit about that scene. But this, it gets the pass. And Superman 3 I'd rather watch because I like Christopher Reeve more than Gal Gadot. I like Richard Pryor more than anybody in this movie. And I buy Supercomputer as being a fun comic book film to watch than Wishes. I watch the fucking Wishmaster or Aladdin for Wishes. I wish they didn't have to see this fucking movie. That's my wish. Especially when then she fights these people in this mall, and this guy's ready to drop a kid, and the other guy's like, "No!" I swear he says that. I swear he looks as if he's trying to be Michael Keaton in the Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming, or this one guy in his glass. I don't know. For some reason, it's like, is he trying to be Michael Keaton or something? He try to have his hair like the... was it Birdman or whatever the fuck. And he's like, "No!" Which was laughable. And it's trying to be... I guess the director, Patty Jenkins, is like, "I love Superman the movie." You know what? I love Superman the movie. But you're not doing a good job of it, in my opinion. I'm sorry, I don't think Patty Jenkins is this new fantastic director. Now she's doing... Star Wars Rogue Squadron, or whatever the hell it is. But I give a shit about Star Wars. Not nowadays. So you have all that shit going on in the opening. It's very super 80s and very comedic and whatever. So then we got Kristen Wiig from the Ghostbusters reboot. Great. She has glasses, she's nerdy, and... I've seen this shit so many times before, I'm tired of it. The nerdy person with the glasses, something happens, you take off the glasses, and then they're evil. I saw that with Jamie Foxx as Electro. I saw that with Uma Thurman and Batman and Robin. I saw that with Jim Carrey as Edward Nygma. I saw that with Guy Pearce in Iron Man 3. Technically Halle Berry and Catwoman, but she became a hero in that instance. But I'm fucking tired of seeing that. Jamie Foxx, Guy Pearce, Uma Thurman, Jim Carrey, and now Kristen Wiig. Same fucking thing. You have guys acting like fucking dicks. It's one of those movies. Like, you have the guys that really want some coffee, and the coffee guy's a dick. You have this bum alcoholic that keeps wanting to get in Kristen Wiig's pants. He's a dick. Or people are just fucking stupid. Pedro Pascal, at times, it's like he's trying to be Trump. And at other times, it's just... he's a villain, but he's a sympathetic villain at the end of the film. I'm like, oh, great. One of those Sam Raimi Spider-Man villains. They did that in Ant-Man the Wasp as well. Yes, you can make that work, but here it's like... the guy didn't even get a comeuppance after... I'll get to that. Maybe we got some kind of comeuppance, but... so... the whole plot of the film is about the stone, and you get wishes, and Pedro Pascal... that's the villain. Again, he's the lead in The Mandalorian. When you do wishes, he does this thing where he becomes part of it. And so he'll get with someone and touch them and ask them, what do you wish for? They wish for something, but then he can then sort of control them and do what he does. But each time it does, he gets weaker and weaker physically. His nose bleeds, whatever. It's kind of the monkey's paw sentiment. But of course with the monkey's paw, when you wish for something, you're going to lose something. And the reason he's doing this is because I'm not a loser. He's a loser, and he wants to do something for his kid. Buy him a fucking toy or give him a Happy Meal at McDonald's, man. You know, one thing I was surprised by, since this was an 80s, they didn't use a lot of 80s songs that I noticed. You have during the party, relax, relax. I guess if you listen to that song enough, you get music from Robin Williams' Toys. I know it's from something else, but it sounds like the music from Toys. Hoo ha, hoo ha. I swear I was listening. Da, 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 da. I'm like, is that music from Toys, Robin Williams? No, I mean, it sounds almost the fucking same, but that's because, yeah, I know. I can't help it. I'm just thinking of better fucking movies. So this, because of what happened in Pedro Pascal, and where Diana, Wonder Woman, and Kristen Wiig's character, Barbara, where they were at, Diana wishes for something, Barbara wishes for something, Barbara wishes, I wish I could be like you, and she does, and now she's powerful, but the thing she lost is her morals. She's more cold-hearted and more of a bitch. Wonder Woman wished for Steve, Chris Pine's character. So he gets him back, but throughout the film she's slowly losing her powers. So it's another one of those movies where they're losing the powers. Now, one thing that was fucking weird about this was, it's this guy that comes up to Wonder Woman. It's like, who's this? Then the camera turns, and then it's Chris Pine. So when Chris Pine has come back, his soul has come back because of this wish, he takes over a body. Now, the person who took over this body, he's a living person, and he's not evil, he's not mean, he's not rude, he's nothing, I mean, he's just an innocent person. So Chris Pine has, and without his knowledge, taken over this person. So it's it's her love, Chris Pine, but it's in another guy's body. And about 5 minutes later, they already fucked. So if I'm in that situation, if Chris Pine took over my body, and that's like me blacking out, not in existence apparently, and my body's being used to be fucked by a woman, isn't that rape? Is that kind of date rape? You know, isn't it? What's the definition of date rape? What are you drug rape? What is the definition of that, please? Someone fucks you without you noticing, without your consent. Well, not even content, because the guy can't even enjoy it, because you can't even feel anything. So, without his choice, I mean, isn't that a bit fucking weird? Did the filmmakers not think about that? There's this innocent person that the soul went into this person's body, and this body's going through all this shit and being fucked, and, you know, like, what about this person? And it even comes to a point where they're like, well, we need to renounce our wishes, which means Chris Pine has to leave. And Diana's like, no, we can't have that happen. We gotta find another way. So that means if things had worked out, Chris Pine would have been in this guy's body forever. What about that guy? Is he just not in existence? Is he just put in a box somewhere? And then when, let's say everything worked out, and Chris Pine, Wonder Woman, happily ever after. Is this guy in this body, he just, I'm over here. Can I get out? Oh, I can't even feel anything. And then when Chris Pine died of old age, this guy was like, that's pretty fucking cold-blooded. That guy didn't do anything. He didn't do anything to deserve it. What the fuck? Like, the writers don't think about this shit. You're thinking too much about it. Tell me how that's not the case. What I just said. Isn't that fucking weird? You know, what the fuck? Even the first film didn't have stupid shit like that. And the first film, despite the stupid CGI orgasm of CG at the end fight, I still buy that more than the fucking wishing thing. I don't know, the wishing thing, I'm like, okay. which is weird because it's always he's got to touch someone, reach out and touch someone. Well, in the third act, apparently now he to use satellites and just talk on TV, and that equals the same thing as touching someone. So you just make up the rules as you fucking go along. And they try to explain, well, the satellite and the particles. So what, if you spit on someone, that's your fucking particle as well. If you spit on someone, can you fucking do the same thing too? What do you wish for? If you piss in a fucking pool and everyone in the pool wishes for something, is that the same? Because it's your fucking particles in the pool. I mean, by that fucking logic, isn't this something like you touch the ground, and if whoever's walking on there, the vibrations and I can make whatever shit I want to. And then this middle portion, you're like, where is this movie going? It cuts to Kristen Wiig just randomly doing shit. It cuts to Pedro Pascal wishing. It cuts to Gal Gadot showing Chris Pine everywhere, including NASA, or where, the space program. Then it gets to a point that they need to go to Cairo to find Pedro Pascal, so they steal a plane, and for some reason, even though he was World War One, wasn't it? Apparently World War One plane is the same plane as the plane he flies here. Apparently there's no difference. I want to fly that plane. You can fly a World War One, plane just as easily as a 1984 plane. I guess there's no difference. Whatever. And then Diana can just turn that plane invisible. I know I'm not a connoisseur of the Wonder Woman comics. For some reason, I thought the invisible jet was like her jet, and there had to be something else to it. So she could just go and turn anything invisible? If that's the case, why stop at planes? How about trains? How about automobiles? Can she turn anything invisible? Can someone let me know? That's a sincere question. Who know Wonder Woman? Can she just turn anything invisible? Why can't she turn herself invisible? Did someone answer me that? If she can turn a plane invisible, why can't she turn herself invisible? There's many instances that would have worked out, like her fight with Cheetah, or when she's trying to get to the end to stop Pedro Pascal. Anytime I think of Pedro, I always think, vote for Pedro, but it's the wrong Pedro. Why can't she turn herself invisible then, if she could turn a fucking jet invisible? Can someone please explain that to me? This is a sincere question. Please answer me that. She turned jet invisible, she can't turn herself invisible. And I didn't. Maybe in the original it was like her jet and only that. But again, can someone please let me know? And the movie just 2.5 hours is way too fucking slow. It's way too fucking boring. And action, I'll list the action. The flashback I mentioned where she's doing the test as a kid. The open little montage, including in the mall. Then about an hour and 20, over an hour in, you have this convoy in Cairo. Not a bad action scene, to be fair. There's a point where she literally lassos a fucking rocket, rides the rocket, and swings off the fucking rocket to save some kids. Literally a rocket. Am I okay? Sure. Why not? Save some kids. Vote for Pedro is getting pissed, or he's getting more people to wish for his wishing well. Causing more chaos. He's supposed to be doing this for his kid, but he's too fucking stupid to realize that you're going to start World War III. That literally Wonder Woman has to tell him, literally, hey, what about your kid? Because villains, a lot of times villains are stupid. A lot of movies I love, villains are fucking stupid, let's be honest. Oh, I was talking about the action. After that, you have a little fight in the White House and then the fight with Cheetah. Almost said Cheetara, but Cheetah. So, the beginning and the montage, the convoy, a little bit at the White House, and fighting Cheetah. There's your action scenes. The little kid is just her doing a test, diving. The opening, again, very comedic. If you're into that or not, that's up to you. A little bit at the White House, blocking some bullets and getting thrown about by Kristen Wiig because Wonder Woman's losing her powers. And the fight with Cheetah is shitty because the CGI of Cheetah is shitty. In fact, most of the CGI in this I thought wasn't that good. For all the money they have, how is it and why is it that the CGI is not up to par with this amount of fucking money? Cheetah looked like a video game. That looked as bad as the Black Panther fight at the end of Black Panther. In fact, I think Cheetah even looks worse. It looks like a fucking PS3 video game. Not even PS4. I'm sorry, Cheetah looked like shit. Brian, I always thought Cheetah was kind of a dumb villain, but I'm not a Wonder Woman person. So I know this review would be pointless and moot. But, maybe if you had an actual suit. Look at The Island of Dr. Moreau, as bad as that film is. Look at some of the practical effects of some of those monsters. Why could you not just do that? If there's one decent thing to say about that 1996 Island of Dr. Moreau is those makeup effects. Why don't you have Kristen Wiig with that? Then maybe. Not all fucking CGI. Like, everything about that is CGI. I don't think there's one practical moment with her. Have we lost the technology? Or is it plain laziness? That's another question I would like answered. Which is it? Is it laziness? Or we don't have the technology? So after Cairo and Vote for Pedro is doing this and that, he's rising up, getting more oil. He was with an oil company. He gets with the president. And this guy does like the shittiest Ronald Reagan I've ever seen. Fuck. I mean, SNL, I can only assume this was supposed to be Ronald Reagan because I know it's DC, so technically not in our world. But at the same time, is it supposed to be our timeline anyway? Like, that's the thing with DC. Like, it wants to be our world, but it doesn't want to be our world. That's the weird thing. Like, which is it? Was that supposed to be Ronald Reagan, or because that's 84 president, or was it supposed to be, hey, it's the DC's version of 84? I don't know. If it was supposed to be Ronald Reagan, it's the shittiest Ronald Reagan I've seen. If it's not, okay, then my point is completely pointless, and let's move on. So, after the fight in the White House, the idea is you have to renounce your wishes. She ultimately renounces her wish, so bye-bye to Chris Pine. But at least that guy with the body will get his fucking life back and his soul back. I'm sorry if I don't feel bad that some innocent guys don't get his body and soul back that you fucking took. And then at the very end, that guy with the body comes up and he doesn't remember any of that. So that's what I mean. He must have fucking blacked out because he doesn't remember who Wonder Woman is. So I'm whatever. So after she renounces her wish, she's getting her powers back. And that's where she does this thing where she flies in the air. And I swear to God, they stole the music from John Murphy's Surface of the Sun, which you heard a little rendition of that in Kick-Ass, but this is more of the Surface of the Sun from Sunshine. John Murphy, Surface of the Sun. They put the fucking music in here when she's flying, and she's doing Christopher Reeve Superman poses. Why is this happening? Because she's remembering some conversation where Chris Pine talked about the air and being in the air. And I guess she can now fly. idea. This shows how illiterate I am on Wonder Woman. She can, sometimes it seems like she can fly, but no, she's falling. I guess she does like when Thor does with his hammer, she does with a lasso. I guess that's the thing. But then she's like floating and, doing Superman poses. I'm like, wow. I mean, I love Superman the movie. Superman 2. I even like Superman 3. I'll just stick with those. Thank you very much. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So vote for Pedro is going to vote for everybody in the world to go, hey, somehow with the satellites, this is 1984 satellites, I'm going to do a broadcast, and somehow everyone's going to make wishes, and things get worse and worse, and nuclear weapons, and we're going to go to World War III. And apparently, Pedro don't give a fuck. So don't vote for this Pedro. So then she dons this fucking golden armor that hyped up so much in the trailers, hyped up so much in the marketing. She has that fucking thing on for 2 minutes. She flies in. There's Cheetah. She just blots a lot. And Cheetah rips the shit out of it. A shitty CGI orgasm fight where Cheetah looks like a fucking video game character. They go into the water. She won't renounce her wish, so she shots the shit out of her. But apparently shotting her in the water does not affect Wonder Woman. So, okay. It's Wonder Woman. But it doesn't kill Cheetah. Just, I guess, stuns her. So then she rides the... Oh, before that, she rolled the lightning. Not the cool Metallica way, but... At least, I mean, put the lightning. If you don't have her literally ride the lightning, at least do that. But you can't even do that, so you fucked that up. And there's not even a lot of 80s songs. You would think, like, what is the point of this being in 1984? Like, they do this whole parody... That's what it seemed like, of the 80s at the beginning. That's like the only reason why it was in 84. And because the 80s are a thing because of Stranger Things and all this other stuff. And I just technically, I mean, that's the thing. Did we really need a prequel to Wonder Woman? Why wouldn't people want a sequel? When I say, well, okay, it's not a prequel. It's a sequel to the first movie. But technically it's a prequel to Man of Steel, well, Batman v Superman, Justice League. It's a prequel to those, but it's a sequel to Wonder Woman. And the 80s, hey, cool, I love the 80s. But when you keep, it's like everything, you keep milking it, it becomes less and less cool with the 80s. I love the 80s. I love the 80s. But these studios and TV shows, they keep milking this decade. So what you do is you take something cool and you make it less and less and less and less cool. So that what you do is a disservice because you make people get annoyed by it. It's like everything that becomes a little... what's the word I'm looking for? That becomes a little... I don't want to say phenomenon. Fad. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. With everything, anything. I love the Ninja Turtles. Huge phenomenon with the 80s cartoon. But then, you know what they did? They kept milking it, and milking it, and milking it, to the point you had shit like Turtle Tunes, and We Wish You a Fucking Turtles Christmas, and Coming Out of Fucking Shells, and all that shit. And when you got to that, and the next mutation with Venus and her titties, people got tired of it, you milked it enough, and like, done. That's what you're doing with the 80s thing. Stop it. If you're not going to do it right, then don't do it. And literally, after the shitty fight with Cheetah, she's going towards vote for pay, and this wind's blowing her back, and she lassos the rig, and she's giving this speech as if she's part of fucking Al Pacino and Injustice for All, ready for the, oh, you're out of order, you're out of order. Like, she's trying to give this big speech like back to the day with a lawyer to try to get you. This is goddamn innocent. She's giving this big speech about, you must be the hero. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the people listening out there. Apparently her lasso of truth hooks up to the rig, and then everywhere that program's being shown, people are listening to her voice, and for some reason they're listening to her. The renounce your wish. And even vote for Pedro. Like she tells her, hey, remember your kid? And the kid's in the street. I renounce my wish. I want to save my son. I love my dead gay son. No, that's Heather, sorry. That'd be hilarious if out of the blue, like, where the fuck did that come from? His son's dead and it was gay? What? I love my dead gay son. So he renounces the wish, and then everyone decides to renounce their wishes. I'm like, bullshit. I hate to be a bearer of bad news. Not everyone would renounce their wish, because there's a lot of assholes out there. They'd be like, fuck it, let's see what happens. I guarantee you that would happen. And then Pedro runs off, finds his kid, they hug. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not a good person. You don't have to, Daddy, I love you. They hug, and the villain gets no comeuppance. And you go, well, he renounced the wish, and he hugged his kid, but he gets no punishment. There is still a lot of fucking chaos and horror, and people I know things are going back to normal because the missiles that were shot, they're disappearing. But you still have like all this garbage and shit. There's probably some destruction of property. I would have to think there's probably some people that are still fucking hurt in some other way, shape, or form. And by the way, they never make any mention that people forgot about this. Like, you lose your memory. They never made a notion of that. If they did, I must have missed it. Me and my bald head. The reason I bring that up is, if this happened to the entire world, where wish, a wishmaster, holy shit, we saw this big magical glow tell us to renounce our wishes, but then later after this is Man of Steel, and they can't believe a fucking alien? Why the fuck is Lois so, oh my god, there's an alien? She probably was there when this happened. Well, there was that time in the 80s where the entire world was on the brink of World War III, and we all had to renounce our fucking wishes. But oh, to buy a fucking alien exists? That's what I mean, like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm sorry, you made your fucking plate, you gotta eat it. Unless it just wants to say that it doesn't exist. It did exist, because it fucking... And so, even this guy still deserves a punishment. I'm glad that you're sorry now. But you almost ended the fucking world that, at a time, people were dying. I wish you dead. A woman had a fucking heart attack, probably died. Did that woman come back to life? I guess, because if the wish was renounced, I'm guessing so. That woman still went through a heart attack. That died. There's still people that died. And if they went bad, do they still remember being dead? Again, there's no notion I can think of that they lost their memory. That's never brought up. So I would assume that's not the case. Otherwise, they would have brought it up, you would think. Because Vote for Pedro remembered. The kid was still there. He was remembering what's going on. Wonder Woman remembered. Cheetah, she goes back to being a human. So I guess there's no more Cheetah if they do any more movies. The plot stinks. There's a lot of shit that doesn't make sense. Gal Gadot, I'm not impressed with her acting at all. And then he goes off, and in the mid-credits, the woman that owned that armor, that gold armor long ago, what was her name? Was it Asteria? I forget. She's apparently alive in this timeline, and it's played by Linda And she literally winks at the camera. I'm like, you know what? That's the most I got out of this movie. Sad to say. And I'm not even someone that followed the Wonder Woman TV show, so you can't be like, well, it's nostalgic. I never saw the show. I've seen 3-4 clips. I've never seen one episode of the Wonder Woman TV show. So don't give me it's nostalgia. I'm not nostalgic for something I never watched. I've only seen clips. I'm saying, I know who it is, and based on that one cameo, she had more personality than Gal Gadot did the entire fucking film. And again, 2.5 hours, 5 points of action. When she was a kid, boring. The cheetah fight, shitty video game graphics. The White House, pretty much her getting the shit kicked out of her. Steve and them fighting a couple White House staff. I'll take the beginning of X-Men 2 over that. The fucking montage. Trying so hard to be fucking Superman the movie. Or more like Superman 3. At least Superman 3 has the cool, evil Superman versus good Clark Kent. There's more merit in that scene than this entire fucking movie. So, and again, like, the villain doesn't even get comeuppance. Oh, he said he was sorry. You know what? If someone caught me with a fucking hand in the bank vault, I would say sorry too. This don't take my ass to jail. I put the money back. Well, you're still going to jail. Whether for a day or a year or 10. He didn't even get a slap on the wrist. He didn't even get a punch in the face. And again, like this whole Chris Pine takes over this guy's body, and the guy, poor guy, you got fucked by Wonder Woman, you didn't even get to enjoy it. Let alone remember it. Because Chris Pine used your fucking body like a tool, like a sex toy, without you noticing. Date rape. You got it's like drugging someone, dude. Tristan Wiig. I'm the nerd with glasses, and now I'm evil. Like the reverse Superman, I guess. And the CGI wasn't that good. It's just too fucking long and too fucking boring. And too fucking annoying. So, fuck the movie. Fuck the bonus. Fuck Wonder Woman 84 fucking times with a golden dildo. Okay? No more Wonder Woman movies. Patty Jenkins left Warner Brothers because Warner's like, we don't put it HBO Max. Thank you, Warner Brothers. Thank you for doing that. Why do I say thank you? So maybe we won't get more well, they'll do Wonder Woman movies. Not for a long while, probably. Because they'll probably want to kiss Patty Jenkins' ass to get her back. After everything, if anything settles, and it's like, whoa. Fuck, man. I remember not minding the Wonder Woman animated movies. Those are better than this. Well, I've seen one. But even some of the other animated movies I've seen of DC, Wonder Woman was cooler in those than in this. In my opinion. I don't know what else to say. Like, even the 80s, after the opening bits, you barely know this was in the fucking 80s. Except once in a while you see an old-ass TV. I guess I could appreciate that, because the whole movie wasn't this 80s parody like the way it began. But this is like, start off with that? Is this going... No, okay. And the way the marketing made me think this would be like Thor Ragnarok. It's not. Well, you think that's a good or bad thing? It's not. But, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Woman, just take the fucking lasso and hang me, please. Take the truth. Can't handle truth, whatever. This is my truth. My truth, this movie fucking sucked. It wasn't a wonderful time. 84 times being kicked in the nuts is not my taste of wonderful. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.